Can you hear the sound of my voice? Can you hear the sound of my voice?
Hey, everybody. Okay, that's not. Here we go. And that looks pretty decent. Whoa, I'm trying something new and I have no real idea what I'm doing here as I'm using a new platform tonight. That's why I called this prep. First and foremost, if you can hear me out there, just give me a thumbs up and we're going to figure this all out together. I'm testing out StreamYards tonight, hoping to figure out how to use this with my OBS software. So we're gonna have to figure all of this fun stuff out. But if you know me, I like to tinker. Yeah. So coming back after a long hiatus, it feels good to be back. Pip, I recorded you part 2 of Dudley Town today. And I'm looking at my phone because this is where I'm kind of looking at the chat right now, and for Instagram. Although I can see it over here on my browser, although it doesn't seem to update quite as fast as my phone is. So we'll keep the phone going for now. Okay, so what the hell am I doing here tonight? I am one. Oh, yay! That's all it takes, and I'm good for it. So what are we doing here tonight? Tonight, one, I'm trying to figure out some new streaming software. So this should be streaming to Twitch. This should be streaming to the Old Spirits YouTube and to the Don't Turn Around Instagram. I cannot verify if that is the case. Pip, maybe you could blink at YouTube and see if this is broadcasting there. So part of Don't Turn Around will be a bi-weekly. That's the plan. We'll see. Live feature called "It Came from the Web." It is sort of it is my. So T does the Grim Gazette on OSI, which is just great. It's very much T. So It Came from the Web was something I had started experimenting with uh, before Don't Turn Around took its season break, and It Came from the Web is, if you would see the Grim Gazette as the Scully clip and debunking review, It Came from the Web is more from the I want to believe side. I'm not saying that I believe everything I see on the internet. And typically, what I do is I prep beforehand, find some things that look interesting that I want to dive into a little deeper in the episode. So I thought, hey, well, this would be a good way to check this all out. Oh, shnikes. Loving that I can see my YouTube chat and Twitch chat in here. Oh, shoot. And T, you know what? T hates my new rebranding on Twitch, and so I'm going to quickly rebrand it back because I think the time window has expired. Okay, so I'm looking over here at StreamYards. This is very exciting to hear me talk about this. And I'm probably way too close to the microphone and blasting your ears out, but hopefully we'll be able to figure all that out as well when I review the video on demand. Now, I know I can do a screen. Oh, here we go. So there's this little button here on StreamYards called Present, and I don't know what it's going to do with me up here because I have a fancy schmancy presentation window through. Oh, that's right. Wait. Is he playing D&D outside of the house? I did not even know that was a thing. I thought you guys played on Roll20. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna hit the present button. Slides. I have not prepared any slides tonight. I'm terribly sorry. Terribly sorry. Okay. Let's see here. So we're going to share screen. Screen sharing is easiest with 2 monitors, according to StreamYard. Screen sharing works best on a good computer. Oh, okay. Go T. Already? Oh, well, she's staying this summer. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. Some screens let you share audio. Look for share audio checkbox next to the window. Follow these steps. So apparently, I did not do any of my homework. All right, share screen. Okay, I can share a Chrome tab. That is good. Also share tab audio. And then I think that says okay. The window's kind of cut off. Oh, okay. I mean, that looks decent enough. I mean, it keeps me there and well, let's see if we get some sound. Now, literally, I'm just browsing right now. F and A, F and A. I found this old picture. See, this is what I do. This is my prep for the show. I will browse Reddit. I'll do random Google searches, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. I mean, at first glance, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a baby in a mirror. But when you really look at it, it looks like a giant baby, right? Am I right? This is a giant baby, and I guess that would freak me out if I saw a giant ghost baby in my old photos from home. I mean, what could we be looking at here? What can we be looking at here? I mean, it does look like a face. I mean, it's hard to tell because it looks like there's a coat hanging on the wall back here, maybe, and then it's behind that. I'm thinking Photoshop here, though. It's looking a little Photoshoppy. Also, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there were ghosts in this house. This is freaky. Just a freaky house. Hey, what's happened? Fairy tree on the 5th Ave. Fairy tree on 5th Ave. Or is that 5th Ave in New York? Thank you, Pip. You're awesome out there. Okay, so that is freaky, but more freaky as you kind of scroll by. Now, is this a video? No, this is okay. This is just her Snapchat feed. Can we make that any bigger? I mean, it kind of, I hate to say it, looks a little like Michael Jackson. So far, Reddit, I'm not impressed tonight. This is the paranormal Reddit, which I'm sure many of you have been on here. Okay. I also do like reading some of the Reddit posts. Ooh, trigger warning on that one. I do like reading some of the posts as well. That's part of it. Came from the web. This might just be it came from the web, gang. I was doing a practice in a test session because it does include cryptids. It came from the web. It does include cryptids. But I was nervous just to do this live out of the gate, and so I figured I would just have everything prepared. And well, now I'm just thinking maybe I'll go with it. I'm feeling comfortable. So I think this is good practice. So let's check this out. And we'll be doing this till about 11:30 tonight as I kind of get into the swing of things and figuring this out. Okay, ex-wife and I saw the same non-existent creepy thing without suggestion from the other. All right, this is under the category mutual dream. I'm not sure if this is the right subreddit, as I'm not certain it is even paranormal, but the mutual dream tag stood out. I just saw the same thing last night, so it reminded me about it. So a couple of years ago, my ex-wife and I were in bed, and I woke up. It was semi-dark. I freaked out for a second because I saw what appeared to be a softball-sized spider. It looked like a giant daddy long legs, but with 100 legs that were flying all over the place as it ran all over my wife. Okay, hard stop right there. Oh man, sorry, I left my notifications, I guess, on my phone, which I have. Work is pinging me at 11:12 because we are global. It's cool. Get to talk to people from all around the world, but at the same time, when I'm trying to do spooky creative things, it can be a little bit distracting. All right, where were we? Okay, hard stop. Giant spider. I mean, that's scary enough. I would be throwing my body over my wife to protect her from the giant spider. Right, honey? All right. And we continue. It scared the hell out of me, but when I sat up, it was gone. So I just thought it was lighting, my eyes glitching out on me. I didn't bring it up to her because, well, I just didn't think it was anything to spend time thinking about. A few days later, I woke up to her screaming. I freak out, not knowing what is going on. And she apologizes and says her eyes were playing tricks on her. She saw a bug the size of a hand, like a spider with a tiny body and dozens of legs. It was running all over you really fast. Weird. And I had almost forgotten about it until I woke up in the middle of the night last night and saw the same thing, but on my dog. Again, sit up and it's gone. Like I said, I'm not saying it's anything paranormal, but I want to know how in the hell we could both have seen the same thing, doing the same thing without us ever having talked about it before. Okay, that's strange. I've read a lot of stories out there. Of course, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've had a lot of discussions myself. I've never heard of this softball-sized spider with, like, it sounds like almost like one of those, my kids used to have them for when they were stressed and they would like to play with them. The quiches, you know what I mean? They're like rubber and they've got all the little spindly, wiggly arms or legs or whatever on it. That's what this makes me think of. Except, I mean, beyond the no rainbow colors and no sense of happiness and fun. Has anyone out there that's watching tonight heard of anything like this before? Because this is somewhat new to me, and this is somewhat interesting. So I was going to say I'll save it to talk on the actual show, but burn the house down. Yes, burn the house to the ground. I mean, I wouldn't know what else to call that other than paranormal. If it is, if it's true, which as I will say continually as we do this, I want to believe, but I'm trying to picture in my head, and it almost sounds like an orb with legs. But man, either way, if it's a giant spider or something else, it still seems a little freaky to me. So we will tag that as paranormal for sure. Okay. Another read. Let's do another read. And if you have any interesting links you want to share as we're doing this, I mean, why the hell not? Why the hell not? I would love to take a look. Okay, here we go. My mother and I experienced a very strange thing. Both of us were afraid to sleep alone after that. I'm almost worried to read this. Okay. I was 18 years old and I was alone at home with my mother since my dad worked abroad. One night I told my mom I'm going to go take a shower. She was sitting in the living room watching the TV. As I'm showering, I hear a loud knock on the door. I asked, "Yeah?" Thinking my mother wants to fetch something from the bathroom, but no answer came. Then a couple seconds later came another 4 knocks, this time quieter. I asked again, "What's up?" But nothing. I put a towel on me, unlocked the door, and opened it. There was no one there. Suddenly, my mom comes from the living room and asks, "What's the problem?" I asked her, "Why were you knocking?" And she said, "Me? I came here because you were knocking at the door and shouting. I thought that you got stuck inside." I looked at her dead serious in the eye and said that I wasn't knocking. We stood there confused and told each other what we heard and how we experienced it, and we both experienced the same thing. A very loud and clean knock at first and quieter after that. One other thing that was interesting, the lights in the hall that joins the living room and the bathroom were off, whereas I clearly did not turn them off because the switch is closer to the living room, and I wouldn't be able to see if I were to leave it off on my way to the bathroom. We were both very terrified and decided to sleep together for the night, and that actually stayed that way a week. Before we went to sleep, we even agreed that sometimes during the night we can hear carpet noises in the hall, like someone crossing in there with socks. To this day, I get chills thinking about it. I'm so happy none of us lives in that house anymore. Okay, that's just light enough to be somewhat believable. And you know what's strange is as I read that, I had a memory pop right back up in my head of a similar situation at my parents' house. Only I didn't have anyone there to corroborate it, but I was taking a shower and I turned off the shower and someone knocked on the bathroom door. And I threw a towel on really quick and poked my head out. No one was out in the hallway. I yelled for my mom. I'm going to try to do something here. Can I switch back and forth? Yes. Now I don't know how I get back to my my screen share, but we'll see. Uh, so I get out of the shower, I throw on the towel, and I poke my head out, and there's no one out there in the hallway. I call, mom, because I think it might have been after school, and again there came no answer, and yeah, I was spooked. I was as spooked as the person in that article that we just read, and that was a different time and a different way of thinking. Now, after becoming so involved with the paranormal, between investigations, between the show, I don't know that I would have had the same reaction. Yeah, I would have been surprised and maybe a little bit spooked, but I don't know if I would have been terrified to the point of needing to sleep, not sleep alone. And that's only because we've experienced a lot of things over the last several years, even some things in this house. And you always think that when stuff happens at home, it's going to be, be too close to home. But again, nothing like that as it has happened presently hasn't really spooked me. And so I would say to this poster, itch that needs scratch. Don't you know? Don't be afraid. You don't know that it is something bad. It very likely is not something bad. Just something trying to get your attention and knocking on the door. Maybe you were taking a what my dad used to call hotel showers, and this spirit was concerned about your water bill. But again, just because weird things are happening in your home doesn't necessarily mean that you are in imminent danger. And I'm not gonna say that word. Polite Ghost, at least, uh, says team member. Twitch moms out there on Twitch. Okay. Ooh, I love Savannah, Georgia. We were there a few years ago. Mm. We were there a few years ago for a paranormal summer vacation. Yes, we did. We did go in the summer, and it was hot. Okay, now we're gonna try to switch back to this full screen layout. Exit solo. There's so many buttons on this thing. I'm so afraid that I'm gonna click in the wrong spot. Solo layout, which is that. Exit solo layout. Oh, okay. This is pretty neat. This is pretty neat. I think I'm figuring this out. I mean, it's kind of cropped at the top and the bottom, but I think I can live with that. Okay, so I was going on and on about Savannah when I realized you couldn't see anything. So we went to Savannah, I think it was 2 summers ago, and I fell in love with the city instantly. There's such powerful energy. We did a few investigations. We did the Sorrel Weed House. We did the Savannah Theater with Thai haunted tours. And so if you're ever in Savannah, and I keep on looking this way too, I think I'm going to need a 2 camera setup. Pip, what has T done to me? So in the Savannah Theater, and then maybe one other location. I can't remember if we did just 2 or if we did 3, but we wandered all around the city all day. We went to the cemetery, the very famous cemetery down there, and it's just the city stole my heart. I want to go back. So it looks like what we have is a window shot here. So let's Let's take a look. I even in my own photography, I see a lot of images like this. I think this is definitely a case of visual pareidolia. I mean, I instantly saw the face, but to me, it looks like a smudge or just some reflections on the window. And proportionally, I mean, the that image or that person would have to be further back in the room, and then will we even have enough light coming through the window to see them if it was a flesh and blood person, which I know this poster is not saying, but again, I've seen enough visual artifacts as a result of reflections when taking these types of photos at night or even in the daytime, and so I'm gonna say that is a little pareidolia. Not just a fun word to say, but a thing that actually happens. And if you're new around here, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Phil Rossi. I thought my name might have been up on the screen at some point, but it doesn't look like it's in this view. If you are catching me through Instagram Live, then you likely follow the Don't Turn Around podcast. So thank you for being a part of that community. Thank you for being part of my Twitch community. And finally, thank you for being part of the. And T Morris. T Morris in the house. Welcome, T. This was a trial run tonight to get the stream sort of figured out for it came from the web's triumphant return. And so this is a practice round, but I think this might become the style that I just do it from the cuff. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it could be a lot of scrolling, and we're not going to just keep it restricted to Reddit. But tonight, I'm kind of leaning on Reddit. But we can also see if we could find some clips on the YouTube, or if you have any clips that you want me to look at, you can drop it into the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat, or even the what we call it, Instagram live chat. And as I mentioned earlier, T, I'm only going to do about 30 minutes here tonight. I don't know how long I've been going. I've been going for 30 minutes. 11:30 is going to be my cutoff because that's when I turn into a pumpkin. So this is let's just take a look at this one just for funsies. Whoa, they definitely. I am well. You know what that looks like to me, and I don't know if you can see it out there. It looks like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, and they are stock photo happy in this shot. I don't want to sound like an a-hole. I'm not trying to be an a-hole. You know what though? Time flies when you go, and I feel like honestly, I've covered nothing. I feel like I've covered absolutely nothing here tonight, other than trying to figure out how to get all this stuff to work. We haven't even done a video yet. We haven't even confirmed. Time flies when you go live with this stuff. Yes, T Morris, my partner in crime. Yes, it do. So when I see names like this, I'm not even going to say it out loud. Yeah, I don't put as much belief into what I'm seeing. But either way, Oogie Boogie, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's all I see. Okay, let's do this now. So maybe we should just do a little Reddit. Let's do a little Reddit search. Tonight it's Reddit night. Yeah, I'm staying in my comfort zone of not switching to anything else. So why don't we do a little search here, and we're gonna do. I think it's time to hit the friendly skies. So let's go to just a shot in the dark. I'm actually, believe it or not, I am not part of this subreddit, the UFOs subreddit. That's the truth. I'm not part of it. But let's see. I want to find. Oh. Okay, we're gonna read this one. I know I'm doing a lot of reading. How did I switch back? Ah, that's how I did it. Okay, so this looked a little interesting to me. UFOs own the highly restricted airspace over Washington, D.C. Okay, and the T Monster, T Morris, and I are from the DC area, so that's why I decided. Let's start with this one. On September 24th, 2022, at 12:48 p.m. Eastern Time, I personally observed and recorded on video a flight of two slow-moving UFOs and their numerous compatriots operating at length and with impunity inside airspace that the FAA calls the most restricted airspace in the United States, the Washington, D.C. Flight Restricted Zone, DCFRZ. I like that. The DC. Oh, I was the DC Freeze. That makes me happy. I kind of like that. My name is. Oh man, this gentleman has a fantastic name, and I'm going to strive very hard to not say it in a jaunty tone. All right. My name is Lincoln Lounsbury, and I'm a retired FAA air traffic controller. I have 10 years of experience working in air traffic control towers, and the last tower I worked in was at Washington National Airport, DCA. I am thoroughly familiar with the airspace and aircraft operations surrounding Washington, D.C., and I have lived in this airspace for 29 years. The DC Freeze is a cylindrical, let's try that again, gang. The DC Freeze is a cylinder of airspace that extends laterally to a 15-mile radius centered at DCA Airport and vertically from the surface to 18,000 feet. Air traffic in the DC Freeze is large. As I did so much recording today, my tongue is getting tied on me here. Air traffic in the DC Freeze is largely restricted to three types of operations: commercial passengers, flights landing and taking off from DCA, aircraft associated with Andrews Air Force Base, and a handful of very low flying military, police, and medvac helicopters. That's it. My documented shooting location for this video is just 7 miles from DCA Airport with my camera aimed straight up in the air. I estimate the flight of two UFOs in this video to be flying at roughly 5,000 feet in the base of the clouds. Above the UFOs in the video were measured at 15,000 feet by the celiometer. Man, they're throwing these long words at me at 11:30 at night. By the celiometer at DCA. All UFO operations in this video clearly are happening well within the DC Freeze. I got my fingers crossed here that there's going to be a video with this post because I want to see some UFOs. Additionally, this flight of two UFOs passed through the traffic pattern for aircraft landing at DCA. The pilots of at least one passenger flight almost certainly saw this flight of two highly reflective UFOs as they passed within a mile and a half laterally. I can't say that word tonight, so we'll just say and 500 feet to 1,500 feet vertically of these UFOs. Peculiarly, this slow-moving pair of intruders met no response from the U.S. Coast Guard's MH-65 helicopters stationed at DCA. These helicopters are DC's first aerial responders who otherwise rigorously defend this airspace in the city of Washington, D.C. Hey, it's nice to know that these guys are out there. Routinely, these Coast Guard helicopters meet unauthorized wayward aircraft outside the DC Freeze, and with the help of considerable technology, have no problems getting these aircraft to turn away from the DC Freeze. Is considerable technology a Gatling gun? Because that would get me to turn around. As it turned out, there were no aerial response to these UFOs from any of the military, and the DC Freeze was eerily void of helicopter traffic for hours following the event. Interestingly, additional evidence shows at least one U.S. government organization was well aware of and very concerned about the presence of these UFOs, and that evidence clearly indicates that the UFOs weren't ours. Okay, so we got some links here. So this is where we roll the dice when you click a link live. But I would like to think that Lincoln Lounsbury is is a scholar and a gentleman. And let's face it, I'm sure this is not this gentleman's real name. He don't want the Men in Black to be showing up at his door, zapping his memory. Oh, this is a Dropbox link. Well, nothing gets scarier than clicking links. let's see if it's a YouTube channel. Oh, okay, he's got a direct link. All right, we're clicking. Okay, I don't need that. I don't need that. Fly of two UFOs orbiting each other. Okay, that. Oh, sorry guys. I'm still getting used to this. Let us switch back. No, I was in the right view, wasn't I? Okay. Well, why is it? Oh, I know why. Okay. We are going to stop screen sharing. I told you, I'm new with this platform. Let's go and share a new screen. That's it. I think that's it. 40? Nope, that's it. Okay. Boom. There we go. Now, of course, it's cell phonular. Cell phonular in orientation. That is to say, it's in portrait. That's fine. I turned off the sound because, well, we don't need to have background music for this. See, you can sing. You could sing the Unmarked Helicopters song next time. We'll call you in, which I think I can do fairly easily with this. Okay, here we go. There's one. That looks like something blowing in the wind. And again, there's my camera. I want to believe. UFO flew by at 900 body lengths per second. I mean, I like facts. I'm a big fan of facts. Now, if it's coming back the other way. Okay, so playing at 4 times. So that's 4 times normal speed. I mean, it is hard to go off cell phone video, but the fact that they seem to go back and forth across the frame. Bird flies by. Okay. Yeah, now the more that I watch this, I don't know what I'm looking at. So that's real time. I mean, who knows? Maybe they had too much Romulan ale. Okay, and that must be a plane. Contrail. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and I do appreciate an annotated video. So that gets at least my vote of approval. So excited to get a closer look. I take my camera off the tripod, quickly try to relocate and zoom. Oh, okay. Now that's interesting. Could that be an actual separation? I don't know. He's really zoomed in, and when you really that is a photography term. If you really zoom in, you're going to get all kinds of weird artifacts and visual distortions. So did they split? I don't know. I do not know. So what do we think? What do we think of that? With all these megapixel modern phones, the people catching this evidence always have the crappiest cameras. To this guy's defense, it only looked crappy when he zoomed in. And when was this video? He said this was 2022. Okay, so yeah, you'd be having a pretty decent camera on your phone. So who's to say though? Who's to say? I can't definitively make heads or tails of what's in that video. I mean, it's clearly something flying around with a weird pattern and weird behavior. But who knows what the wind currents were like up there? So maybe these things were just blowing around, and that's all I got. I mean, some kind of debris up there. Otherwise, strange. I haven't seen a lot of footage of UFOs just tumbling across the sky. So who knows? We'll say that is definitely inconclusive. Ooh, one of my favorite things is the and I don't know if this will have a place. It came from the web. It probably will once in a while. But the time traveler phenomena, I just like looking at some of those photos. They make me smile. All right, gang. This has been a blast. 45 minutes was way longer than I was even intending to do. I'm looking forward to taking a look at the video following this to see what I might need to tweak. But T Monster, you inspired me to include It Came From the Web 100% as part of the relaunch of Don't Turn Around, which is happening on June 6th. To everyone watching, either if you're watching on the Don't Turn Around Instagram, over at the OSI YouTube, that's youtube.com/Old Spirits Investigations, or whether you're watching on the soon to be rebranded Phil Rossi Media Scream Stream over on Twitch. Thank you so much for joining us. If you liked what you saw, wherever you are right now, like, subscribe, do the thing. And I think that's all I got for you tonight. I've got some mixing to do for our upcoming episode of Old Spirits. So I think we'll do the sign off for all the folks on the Old Spirits YouTube. On behalf of us here at Old Spirits, everyone here at Old Spirits, everyone at Don't Turn Around, which would be me. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the field. And we'll see if I can find that stop button.